Hello everybody, welcome back. Quick update then on Bitcoins. Not a great deal to say about it, and an overview of the altcoin situation. Which again, there's an easy way to look at it in the short term, but overall, I'm very bullish on absolutely everything, generally speaking. But in the very short term, it does appear that Bitcoin has actually caught its first test of a moving average since, I suppose, more or less the beginning of this breakout. So we bounced from the bottom level of the upper middle portion of the accumulation zone, 40 to 41,000 basically, and then launched all the way from there. We had a test of the 7 simple moving average, which again isn't something that you see very often. It's not a moving average that often gets played. The only time it does get played is when things go extremely bullish, and I mean like very bullish. Right? Normally the 10 exponential is my preference on a bull run. Yeah, I like to play it safe. We talk about 10 exponential, the 20 or the 21. But yeah, this run basically just went straight up, straight through resistances, straight out of the formation, and all the way up to basically this level, which is dancing around about 55,500. Without testing any moving average. The last time we tested any moving average was down here, the 7 simple moving average, down at 43,240. Now, as of today, we tested it again for the first time in ages, right? So again, this is very bullish behavior, very bullish. Almost too bullish, if that makes sense. So if we cast our eyes back down to here, this is something we've been a little not scared of, but it's definitely worth considering what's going on here. The money flow index basically bordering the 95% there. So as a result of that, this being so bullish and that being so high, it can always go higher, obviously. And again, this is the first time we've tested a moving average of any significance at all, which is still bullish, like I say. But a consolidation or a pullback is definitely required. And so what we should be thinking about here is specific targets, I think, at this point. And I don't think we're about to fizzle out here. There was the chance that that we would break down below the 54,000 zone, which would have caused a pullback at that point. At this stage now, it does look like it wants to reach a little higher. So we would be looking at the top of the Bollinger Band, which is about 58,400 to maybe 59,000-ish kind of area. And that basically coincides with all this majority top area. Again, it's spiky. There has been moves up into the lower $60,000 zone, so the $60,000 to $62,000 zone. But generally, this is where the majority of the tops took place on daily candles, and this is where I would expect to see. And again, I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised. But this is where I'd expect to see this current run not finish completely. Obviously, I'm very bullish on the market in general, but find its actual general temporary top. It's rejection for a well-deserved breather, a consolidation, a cooling off period. But again, this is very bullish, and again, since here to here, we've basically been floating above all major moving averages. So, and I mean all of them. So yeah, a very bullish retest of the 7 simple there, and should allow us to push up to the $59,000 zone. And like I say, if we close above $59,000, $60,000, if we close daily candles above there, then this could take on another push up. I'm not joking, it could, because TA is all well and good, and it's about balancing your risk to reward. Certainly wouldn't be thinking of any longs around this level. And just the risk would be too high. But as far as any hodler is concerned, or any spot trader is concerned, you should be pretty chuffed with a chart that looks like this. I mean, it's so bullish that it reminds me of this area down here, where we basically started to really pick up pace and launch above our major breakout zone. About just I suppose the $20,000 vibe. If anyone was around when this happened, you'll remember how epic it was. So launch all the way up, and then there was days that went by without testing moving averages all the way up, and then finally we did get retests, which is fine, perfectly natural and normal. And again, money flow index was high, but not as high as it is now. This is the highest, and I think we referenced this a few times now. This is the highest it's been since the parabolic top of 2017 into 18. So it is very, very high. But again, there's a different market now. Everybody wants a piece of it. I have people send me DMs in my Telegram and things like that saying, I was thinking of remortgaging my house and buying Bitcoin. So obviously, that's one hell of a thought. I mean, I remember buying the highest I've ever bought a Bitcoin now was about the $29,000 zone. And if I was to go back in time a year or so ago and speak to my former self and say I bought a Bitcoin at 29,000, my former self would have said, "You're crazy, you're mad." So to be buying around here, obviously, for a trader it's fine, but to be remortgaging houses and stuff like that, Jesus. I mean, very, very brave. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work out for you. I'm sure it probably would. But, I mean, let's just have a think about what you're doing. We are likely to be entering the end of the bull market, should I say. Within a 3 to maybe 9 month period. Like I said, the lengthening cycle theory is yet to be seen, and I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong, I am all for that. I like to trade these markets. I prefer trading uptrends than downtrends, obviously, because my preference is always spot trading. But yeah, I mean, I'm all up for it. But until I see it, with any degree of certainty, then I'll stick to the previous cycle, which again is still very much in play and ticking along very nicely. Ticking along extremely well. So again, yeah, that was your Bitcoin overview. I think we make another push up to the upper 50s, maybe wicks up into the upper to the lower 60s. And what this would do for altcoins? Well, there's always going to be upside for altcoins, depending on the altcoin that you're trading. But generally speaking, when we're thinking about what's going on here, it does very much look at this stage now that the Bitcoin dominance is due for its an actual reversal now, so an uptick. This is something that we've always had on the cards, and this is for the people who want to make the most out of spot trading, I suppose, because money is entering the market generally into the market as a whole. There's a lot of money going into altcoins, a lot of money going into Bitcoin. It's not the old market that it was, which fluctuated lower than 500 billion, which is obviously a lot of money. And so when you're playing with markets like that, liquidity is generally not an issue, but it's something that you can make the most of from flowing out of Bitcoin positions into altcoin positions and blah 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 blah, all the way from supports to resistances. I still think that rotation is likely to happen again, and this is why I suppose I have slightly higher targets than I wouldn't say most, because there's so many moon boys out there, but a Bitcoin target of into the $200,000 zone is feasible if you incorporate the idea of a rotation at this low level of the Bitcoin dominance chart. And what I mean by that is that money comes out of altcoins into Bitcoin and basically just pushes the price up massively, because it doesn't take new money to enter the market at that stage. It just takes the altcoin market to tip into and pour into Bitcoin. We've seen this before, and this is why I'm saying, for us to expect, an $80,000, $100,000 Bitcoin, I think it's very likely before the run is finished. But whether that takes new money to do that, or if it takes the money that's already existing in this, what are we now, a $2.5 trillion market cap, or just lower than that, just probably about 2.2 trillion. Just takes some of that altcoin money, and again, you'd have to be crazy to be holding on to some of these altcoins after they've done such massive, significant moves. You do want to take profit on them. I take profit all the time, and down at these levels, I take profit into Bitcoin. And I'm not saying that the rotation has to happen, but it could, and it probably will happen. And that's what's going to, I suppose, surprise people that have not been in the market long enough to see those sort of things happen. I suppose for the people who have been in the market since the beginning of this year anyway, they probably just feel as though altcoins are the better movers and they will always be that way, but it's not the case. It isn't the case, it's something to be aware of. And so what we see now is the first weekly close above the 200, above the 20 weekly. I mean, we were above it all the way back down in here, January. This was beginning of alt season, mid to late January. This has always been touted on my channel as we were getting into October, November last year, saying that mid to late January is when we're going to likely get that rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins. That's how we were able to make so much money this year, because we rotated. We treated the market appropriately. We bought altcoins when they were low from a Bitcoin which was high. Now what we're thinking of doing is, I'm not saying that these altcoins are particularly high, they've got further to go in my opinion, definitely. But if you're looking to make the most of a rotation, it does show at this moment now that there is likely to be a rotation, and money will favour Bitcoin, and that's new money first of all, and then when the momentum starts to gather, people will realise that it's probably the best place to be, at least in the short term. So this is the first time we've closed the candle body above here since essentially the beginning of the alt season, which was January 2021. So that is a big deal, and that was a big old candle close there, and a retest of the 20 weekly already, 44.4% dominance. We should be at this stage now anticipating a further slower but slow and steady move up on this chart now, pushing up towards 50% dominance, 51 to 52.2, 52.6. Either way, what I'm trying to put across here is that, yeah, altcoins will work out. I'm sure they will, and they will probably trend. Most of them will trend with Bitcoin, but they will likely lose some of their sats, and some of them will probably lose a lot more. You've got to be careful with your altcoins, and like I say, I'm a conservative trader. I use a multitude of different charts. I marry them together to try and make the most out of the market, and I think this is the best way to do it. And it does at this stage now look like the rotation is about to pick up a bit more pace. But again, you know, a rotation is that. This time we're rotating from Bitcoin into from altcoins into Bitcoin. Back over here we rotated from Bitcoin into altcoins, and probably around here we'll be looking to rotate from Bitcoin into altcoins again. So again, it's just a way to make the most of the market, and you know, we don't do it blindly based on this chart. We use this chart alongside Bitcoin's chart, alongside specific altcoin charts, to gauge the perfect entry, the perfect timing, and make the absolute most of what's going on here. So in the short term, yeah, I think some sats will likely be drained from some, probably most, altcoins over the coming weeks, and we'll see where it takes us from there. Doesn't mean that your precious altcoin that you're trading now, or you're holding onto for dear life, and you've just got tattooed to, you know, your forehead basically, is not going to make money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that on a very basic overview, Bitcoin looks like it's going to be the stronger, and that it might pick up momentum, not just from new money, but from altcoin gains. Altcoin gains will flow into Bitcoin, which will cause this chart to pick up momentum. And like I say, expect some sats to be drained from the market. That's all I'm saying. Not dollar value, although that could be the case. Sats. I'm just talking sats. Right, so that'll do for now. I hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.